Hi everyone, how are you all doing? So today's session is going to be a little bit different. We're looking at writing a memoir in Novelcrafter. This is we've not really touched that much on non-fiction writing in Novelcrafter, but it is just as good. Like it is really good at writing non-fiction, and I thought we could maybe take a few sessions to just go through different formats of non-fiction writing. It'll be spread out over time, but and just like get a bit of a better idea of how you can actually use Novelcraft to do this, and then hopefully, even if you're not writing a memoir, it will help you get ideas for your own projects. So yeah, hi Dylan, hi Joe. What are you drinking today? I won't be looking as much at chat when I'm on my slides. I've noticed as well that doing blue makes me look a little bit undead, so that's like appropriate for Halloween, right? But yeah, so we're gonna get started. So what my plan is to go into what is a memoir, and how does it differ from other similar genres, um, key concepts when you write a memoir, how to structure a memoir or how you can, like options for that. And then we're going to go a bit more into the nitty gritty of using it within Novelcrafter. So, how you can use the codex, snippets, chat, plan, and specific prompts to make this work. Um, so hopefully you'll join me along for the ride and you'll find some stuff useful in this. If you've got any questions, ask away. Um, and yeah, oh Mocha, I'm jealous. Okay, yeah, let's get started. So boop. Okay, so what is a memoir? So when I went to Google, it was like, okay, it's a historical account or biography written from personal knowledge. But that's not kind of all it is. I was kind of like, well, what then makes a memoir different from an autobiography or a or any other kind of media? So, a memoir, it focuses on a specific theme, time period, or relationship. It's like a slice of life. So think of this as like someone writing about um say motherhood through the lens of like their mother, the process of becoming a mother, and then like grandchildren or whatever, something like that, or maybe a significant event that changed your life with an overarching theme, um something that is relatable to everyone even if the events themselves are not what they've been through. So it's very personal, subjective, and reflective. It answers, what did this experience mean to me, and kind of talks. It's not just an account of what's happened, it's a reflection of how that's impacted the person. We then go to Team Sam, who has just appeared behind me. Oh no, it's not. Oh, it's just Dylan. Oh, I thought I had a cup of tea. So we then go to autobiographies. The focus of an autobiography is more the entire life of a person from birth to present. Obviously, there are sometimes limitations, exceptions, but that's often how they are kind of given out. Again, written by the person who has experienced the life. Um, Usually, there is a chronological coverage of the entire life, and it's chosen to be framed in that way. The voice could often more represent a historical textbook of your, like a history textbook of your life. It's more factual and comprehensive, and often has fewer of the subjective reflections, and the like. We then go into personal essays. So these are, I guess, like a slice of a memoir in a way. It's a photograph compared to a film. It's capturing a specific moment and is a lot shorter. Whereas a memoir will often be like a novella or novel length. A personal essay is like a short story. And then diaries. So I think the most famous of this, like Anne Frank, it's private, immediate, just exactly what happens as it's happening. It's the daily experience. It's live fed. It's not a reflection or reporting of something. It is as it's happening. You'll often have ongoing day-to-day or week-to-week entries, and there's no structure because it's written contemporaneously. Most of the time, these are written for yourself. It's capturing who you are in the moment without the filter of reflection or crafting for readers. I mean, I know my diaries as a child, I would not necessarily want to go into to become a publication, but like if you went through something, it could then happen. So there are some key concepts in memoirs that you try and keep in mind when you're writing it. So first of all, there's often two selves within a memoir. There is the narrator, who you are now, making sense of it all, analyzing, and then there's the past self, the experiencing self, like who you were when everything happened. So your reader is kind of seeing both you and past you in the same kind of bubble. Um, a memoir also really acknowledges that memory is imperfect, that everything that you're retelling, it's through your own filter, through how you see life and how you perceive things, and kind of how that impacts the narrative. So you're kind of like, whilst this is all true as you saw it, it's very much acknowledging that this is your perception of things and how it affected you rather than like a unbiased factual account. You, for example, like you might not remember every word of a conversation. I mean, who does? I don't remember the last conversation I had with, anyone word for word, but you will remember the gist of it and how it changed you. And so you're kind of like looking into that. You will also find there is a very balanced depiction of scenes and summaries. I guess the kind of show tell vibes. So a scene in this case will put readers in the moment with dialogue, action, sensory details. You're going in depth into that moment to share it, whereas the summary will then cover time with reflection. So you might be like, the next 3 months blurred together, that kind of thing. You want to have a balance of both in a memoir, using scenes for like crucial moments and a summary to connect these moments together, because otherwise you end up. Well, I guess it's the whole pacing thing again. It's getting everything, kind of all your ducks in a row. There's also an inherent promise to the reader when writing a memoir. You are promising that this has really happened to me and here's what I learned from it. Like, you're not exaggerating anything, embellishing, changing. You're giving this like honest, raw account that then can help others through sharing that intimacy with them, I guess. Does that make sense? So yeah. I think also with a memoir, like obviously if you're going to go and publish, there's the selling side of things that publishing industries have to consider, but you don't need to have like climbed Mount Everest or met someone famous or done something that changes the world to be able to write a memoir. What you do need is like an experience that impacted you, changed you, and kind of the willingness to be curious about that event and be vulnerable about it and give the insight that came from that, and kind of following that theme. There are some. Oh, hi, Team Sam. You are here now.
I'm here with Dad.
Thank.
Yeah, no one got bored.
Is he? Yeah, he's behind me. No, I'll be careful. So there are often like different themes that come into play. So some might include coming of age, food and family, caregiving or loss, personal callings, like if you work like in charity or various things, and also identity and culture is a big thing in different memoirs. Okay. Okay, so structuring a memoir. Where on earth do I even begin? Like, I've got these ideas, these thoughts in my head, and I'm like, okay, well, what do I do? Where do I put these? And there are a few different ways that you could structure a memoir. So I just thought I'll give you a few of these, some ideas, take these, leave them, etc. So maybe the most traditional way, like, or the way you would think of first, is like a timeline. So how did this one event shape me? It lead to who I am today. It will probably be the before the event, and after. You're kind of following along. There's a narrative. These often include like stories about growth. If any story where there's a clear process, or like the what happened next is key, and so you're following along. I've included some examples. Then there's like the thematic deep dive. This is memories and moments connected by a singular theme. It's so, like we were talking about before, the different themes, the like family, belonging, those memories that surround that theme, and you group things together. You will also look at how has this theme impacted my life, and how has the theme changed and evolved throughout. Themes could include, if you're doing about a love for cooking, it could be like talking about like learning in your grandmother's kitchen, then like going into your first restaurant job, teaching a child to bake, maybe setting up your own I don't know, entering a baking contest, different things like that. There's a lot of you could have lots of different events tying in to this theme of cooking and a love of food. And then maybe more so than the timeline, there's the pivotal moment, which is entirely centered around this one moment. So often defined by major turning points like kind of diagnoses of illness or a traumatic incident, or even like a really positive thing, an achievement. And you're looking very much at the before and after. Like, it's kind of like there are often moments where you're like, this is past me and this is me. And there are those moments in life that kind of completely, if that hadn't happened, you wouldn't be the person you are today. And that is often a way that memoirs are framed around. Okay, so we've had a 10-minute primer on what a memoir is. How can we use Novelcrafter to write one? So I'm going to go into the different parts of Novelcrafter and how you can use them. And then afterwards, I was thinking about jumping in and making a unauthorized, absolutely not real memoir of myself to kind of show putting them into practice. What do you think? So codex. So characters, you would first of all want to make a character for yourself. You are the narrator. A lot of memoirs, from my research, it seems first person is a big choice, and so you very much want to get the voice right if that's the case, and to sound like yourself. So having a character for yourself and really going in depth, I think, is important. You would also have characters as other people in your life. It may be that you want to merge people together or just have like key moments, but you can kind of start by putting everyone in and then curate as you go. I would put like key memories into lore. I think that's a very good way of shaping that, and they're the moments that can then relate. So you could have like a lore entry and then have as a relation any of the characters or locations that are related to that memory. So when the memory is mentioned, it also pulls up the mentions of those codex entries involved within the memory. So then when you go on to write about it, you've got it all together. You can use codex categories to organize your entries by key events, time periods, or like the theme that you're going through, so that you can easily find them. That is an option. And details, so codex details, key facts, how things are connected. And one thing that I really find powerful when writing stories, or in this case, I think it would be very good for a memoir, is detailed opinions about that person or location. If you have any preconceptions, your filter through it. I think that would really help if you're using AI to then take it on. Even if you're not using AI, I think getting your thoughts down can be quite cathartic about different people. Then there's snippets. So I love a snippet for my initial brainstorming notes. You can just go in and write and just have all of your thoughts, and you can then like extract them into codex entries or just use it to then further organize, and it kind of just keeps everything in one place, easily digestible. You can use snippets for checklists, your to-do lists, editing lists, yada yada. You might want to do some background world information, so it's not directly related to you, but it might be if, say, you're writing about a particular event and things in the world were happening around that time, you might then want to include background world information about what was happening in, I don't know, January 2014, so that you could then have that as context, but you're not necessarily wanting to put it in your codex because it's not directly related to you, that kind of thing. A writing sample. If you have written anything, having a writing sample of your prose is really so important and so useful for getting AI to write like you if you were to go through that route. Okay, then we have chat. You can use chat to research, to learn about what a memoir is, how to structure it, how you might make one from your story. You can get that like opening advice. You can use it to research real world events. Like you'd obviously want to then go and like fact check, but it might be you're like, when was the FA Cup match when Liverpool won? Like what month was it? Like things like that. You might be like, okay, well, I just want to quickly ask. And then you might be like, okay, well, what was the seating capacity of the venue? That, I don't know. I don't know why football is what came into my head, but that kind of thing. You can also ask AI to interrogate you, to ask you questions about yourself, kind of in a not as a therapist, but like journalist way. So then you can answer the questions and it helps you unlock stuff and kind of get your ducks in a row and kind of be like, actually, no, this was important. Finally, general editing. Chat is great. Stick your scene as context and just be like, I don't know, where have I mentioned things more than once and it's not needed? That kind of thing. Then there is the plan view. So the layout, you can lay out key scenes, just plonk them down and then put them in after. Experiment with story order. So you could play around with how you want to tell the story. And then in the matrix view, you can also use that to see how often key figures or locations or mentions of lore occur, so that you can then be like, okay, actually, this is surprisingly important in my life. And finally, custom prompts. One to mimic writing style, if you've written some prose, would be essential. Editing prompts to help edit, and then also a Socratic chat prompt. So I've been playing around with one just to try for this stream. And basically something to kind of like work with you and interview you and help you build up your memoir. Does anyone have any questions? I'm going to go into more about this prompt now, but does anyone have any questions about anything that I've been talking about? So that I can answer them before, like, so I know them to answer when we're diving into Novelcrafter. So using a Socratic guide, Socratic, it kind of comes from the Greek philosopher, and essentially think of it as like a toddler who will then go and ask questions about everything. So you'll say something and then they go and ask questions. And then, so you're using AI in a way that isn't answering for you. It's taking moments and picking up on them and then asking more questions to help you answer them. I don't think it's like a way that a lot of people use AI, but it's a very powerful tool to have. When doing this, you can answer questions in whatever way feels natural, whichever order. You don't have to answer questions, skip them if they don't resonate with you or you don't want to answer them. Totally fine. And the prompt lets one answer lead into the next question. So yeah, I'm going to have a little sip of my drink and then let's dive in. Hit me up if you've got any questions. I'll just check the comments. Oh, thank you, Kyle. Kyle says, just got Novelcrafter and find these videos so helpful. Wonderful job. Thank you. That means a lot to me. I'm glad, you know, everyone has a very different learning style, and it's nice to know when we hit the nail on the head with some things. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free. I'm all ears. Okay. So yeah, let's dive in. Kate is writing her unofficial. So I have called this Memoir of a Chaotic Girl. This is not going to be a memoir of myself because I don't want to write a memoir of myself. So I have gone into chat and made a hypothetical alternate universe Kate. So in this hypothetical alternate universe Kate, I did history at uni, and then went into marketing. I'm going to assume at 26, I got made redundant during the pandemic. That feels about the right age. And then I began panicking, but then started selling some handmade stuff on Etsy. And then after some support, I made more from Etsy in 3 months and you're all jump paid. I mean, I wish, but I then set up a shop, hired people, and have a really cool, fulfilling life. And I was like, yeah, sure, this sounds like fun. This is going to be my life. So yeah, I thought, okay, we can make this work. And then I also looked into themes when brainstorming kind of this hypothetical life. So there's like identity and self-perception themes are gonna play through it. I have set up a prompt. I wish there was a way to like condense how big it is. Let me go down. Team beat completion. No, it was chat, wasn't it? I have too many prompts. Memoir, general chat memoir. Basically, I've been like, you're an insightful memoir writing coach who helps authors discover and develop their personalities. There's a core approach, initial discovery questions, understanding your why, basically just telling it how to ask questions. I basically went into chat and asked it to help me write a prompt for this. So yeah, that's how I did this. So I will share this somehow, but then go into it after. So you could when you first go into chat, you could just be like, I want to write a memoir, but I've got no idea where to start. Can you give me some advice? Like I do that often with like any genre if I've never written it before. Or you can also then go into like, so I have my first chat here and I was just like, good morning. And they were like, where do you want to start? And then I was like, okay, we're diving in. So what I'm going to do is begin by putting in myself. Me, the author, owner of a small fashion boutique. What is our fashion boutique called, guys? I need your help. Let me. Yeah, while I'm adding this in, I'm just going to copy some stuff from the snippet. I'm just going to move this past. A history of me. Okay, so I've got this. Kate. I might also then have a location. What I want a pun name for a shop. 1 minute. I'm just going to quickly go into. Please give me 10 pun-based names for a handmade clothing shop. I just want to. I would name things puns. Like AU me is not that different from real me. I would use like when I DM. I always have pun based taverns. I need a little love. I think seems like magic. Let's go for that. If anyone has a different favorite, let me know. So I'm going to call that. I've put it as a location. My fashion, my boutique where I sell handmade clothes. And misc handmade items. Well, why not? I'm branching out. I've expanded. Okay, so I've got those key bits. So I was like, so then in this I'm using Mistral Medium 3.1, if anyone wants this for context. I was like, okay, so we're diving straight in today. I've never written a memoir before, and I'm not sure where to start, And they were like, okay, since you're starting, we're going to focus on 2 things. Finding the heart of your story and uncovering details that make it vivid. No pressure to get it right. This is about discovery. Here's where we'll begin. I'll ask you questions, and you can answer as little as much as feels natural. Okay, finding the heart of your story. What's a moment or period in your life that lives in you? And then, so I was thinking, I was thinking about this just in general. And for me, actually, a moment that I found in my life, like real life, that sticks in my mind. I was doing a presentation, doesn't matter about what at this point, and afterwards there was a Q&A. And one of the hosts, who was a guy, I guess is probably relevant, asked, why do you say we when presenting the work that you've done, whereas all your male colleagues said I? And I mean, I was just like, sorry, what, bitch? No, I wasn't. I didn't actually say that, but in my head, I was like, sorry, what? I mean, one, why not ask about my work? But also, I think it did show that there was a perception difference. Whereas for me, it was like, well, I mean, I am doing the physical work with this particular project, but it's not only my idea. There are other inputs. It's not, it's a collaborative effort. But that stayed in my head. So I'm gonna try and put this in. Um, um, uh, okay, so I've put that in. Let's have a look what else this prompt was asking. I feel, oh my god, I was like totally hypothetical. So memoirs thrive on specificity. Pick one scene from the chaotic period you're writing about. It doesn't have to be the biggest moment, just one that sticks with you. Tell me where you were. What's one odd or unexpected detail you remember? What did you believe in that moment? The why behind the situation. Okay, so this is the thread that I'm pulling on first. I like that it's given this. I like that it's done little emojis. Like, it's very cute, you know? But yeah, I'm curious how it conflict, unfairness, and core value of yours being challenged. And then it's like saying, looking at the ripple effect, why this moment stuck. Oh my god, this is really like I'm just reading this. I'm like, damn. But I think this is the point. You can use AI and Novelcrafter to take your thread and just start expanding on it, playing around. It might be then that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go into plan. I'm gonna create my first scene. And then so I'm in the outline view just because I was working on that last. So I'll go into grid, which is what most of you will be familiar with. And I'm going to add as a chapter summary the we/I question. And then I'll make a law entry for this. The we/I question. I can go into detail later, but I'm just putting things down. I might then put a location of conference center of where this was, if we're going to then go and explore this. I might put in as an other codex entry theme comparisons, because I feel that maybe if we were framing around this moment, it's not necessarily an unfairness or a disparity between men and women. This is more a comparison of how I see myself versus how others do, shaping of events, why things might change. So how perception of self differs. The filter through which we live. Okay, so I'm taking this. I might then go be like, okay, well, if I'm going to add things, I've got like my snippets. Is there anything I can add from this? I mean, these are all great themes, to be fair. So we might have relations here. So I've got some of these. I could put things in. So say if I went into extract, because things are okay. So things aren't formatted for that. So I would change things. But I could, to be honest, this is just a list. I could take this and go and like move on with it. What would you like to see me do next? I think is probably the best question to ask. I'll add in a few codex entries, but what would you like to see me explore within a memoir in Novelcrafter to help you with your journey? That I think will be best. My AU husband is called Sam instead of Sam. AU mentor. I was about to give an actual mentor name. No, what are we going to call this? AU mentor Dave. I don't think I know any Daves. I might be then like, what else was in this? Best friend. AU bestie. And I'm going to call my AU bestie. I don't know. And now I'm thinking like, what's a random name? And I'm like, I literally could pick any name. It doesn't matter. I'm going to call my AU bestie Dolly, because that's totally a common name where I'm from. Regina. Yeah, let's go Regina. I mean, absolutely not a UK name, but I like it. Regina. I mean, it probably is a UK name, but like not from the UK. Okay, Regina. Hopefully not Regina George. I might be like, okay, other locations. My AU house. I don't have to call these all AU. I'm doing it for just the lols. You can just put your actual things in. And I might be like, okay, so I have some this wee eye question. I have in my relations panel, I've got some connections. So there is me. There is this conference center. There is the theme. So the guy that asked the question. So the presentation host. I can't remember his name, and I don't want to try and remember it because then you start. So then I'd be like, okay, well, also I want to add this into my lore entry. If I had any of my like university co-people, I would also have that there. You can see that this we question is now in the mentions because I've mentioned it in a summary. I might be then like, okay, so I've got my codex entry. I want to start adding some details. So I'm going to go to the bottom, add details. I don't have any details at the moment, so I'm going to go to manage custom details. I'm going to start off with obviously there's quick create, pronouns, key in a memoir, to put that in. So I'll do that. For me, other aspects are probably not as important in a memoir. You might decide you want backstory, or like you want to call it history or something. But I want to go for a text, and I want to put Kate's perception, because every item, like, because a memoir is filtered through your interpretation, you want it to have that interpretation kind of inherent. So yeah, I'm gonna have this including all, that's fine. Kate's perception, text entry. Okay, we're done. Yeah, I think that's fine for my what other details might I need? I'm trying to think. Absolutely fighting style, right? I might have a text of how I am connected to them, because I could do like how I know them or things like that, but I'm trying to think, what can I do that's a generic for whether it's locations, whatever. So characters, locations, objects. Oh, I feel like that's probably all I need. Like how I know them wouldn't work for lore. That's inherent in the description. So my opinion, how I'm connected to them. A lot of stuff you could just put in the description. I might also do a one-line fun fact. Associate that with characters, locations, thing. I've done this as a line rather than a text because I don't want it to take up much space. It's there as a fun fact. So we can go in. Say I go to my AI and my AU husband. I'm going to add in all the missing details. So we've got fun fact, hypothetical fun fact. I don't know, he can hold his breath for 2 minutes. Discovered during a failed apple bobbing event. This absolutely didn't happen. But in this AU life, he went apple bobbing and held his breath. Trying to, because he was underwater, trying to get his teeth into the apple. Okay, so what's this hypothetical husband going to work as? I don't know. Works in works he's going to do something fun as a lumberjack. I think he would like that. Sem can be a lumberjack. And then say if we want to have some kind of like hypothetical moment, I might be like, okay, let's go to my general chat, memoir, Mr. Medium. I want to include something with me and my. I'm then actually going to be like, okay, well, this isn't obviously highlighting, so I'm going to put under Kate an alias of me, I, my, and Sem. Not sure where to start with this in my memoir and how to tie it in. I think I also want to make sure my themes are global entries. So I'm going to go onto my theme, go up to tracking, and then always include the entry in AI context. Okay, so I'm plugging this in. Hypothetical questions. We're building up the codex and our lore. So what feels meaningful and including Sem in your memoir? Example, if you write about the apple bobbing moment when you discover this 2 minute, see putting this fun like key moment in has kind of like helped things go. Um, so I really like this. It's giving you kind of like it's tying into the theme, it's tying into like emotional core, it's going into where the presence or absence heightens tension, the representation, where his stories could fit, a moment of doubt. Oh my god, it was still going. I mean, that's kind of fun. Well, at least you're not training yourself to a tree. Um, but yeah, I mean, these are really thoughtful, like I think provoking questions of like. I think even if you're not going to do a memoir, guys, just sit with this and like think. So yeah, I think that is a very useful way of going about it. Before we go, I'm just gonna add in like if you say we've got some hypothetical scenes, I don't know, bestie chat, shop opening, first sale. We're gonna add in like some codex entries. We might be like, okay, so this is bestie chat. We were at my house. Shop opening seems like magic. Me, husband. This might be me. AU house. Me, presentation host, conference center. And then if we go into the matrix view, you can see, say we've got characters here. You can see where all of these characters are coming up. So I'm like, okay, well, I should be in the bestie chat. So I'm going to add me to the scene. And then we can go from characters to locations, be like, okay, these are the locations where these key moments are had. Obviously, point of view hasn't been set yet. You can also do custom, so we could add in codex entries. So I might be like, I want to track. Say I'm doing a subplot of me and my husband, and I want to see where our stories entwine. Obviously, I would be there for everything, but you can do that. Or you could be like, well, how often is he attached to the house? And be like, actually, surprisingly enough, he's not. And you're like, okay, well, maybe he would actually be there for that first sale. That kind of thing. I mean, the outline is just great for if you're just wanting to write without any of the added bits. If we go to the novel settings as well, and then into writing, you can add some labels / markers. So you can do scene status. I really like scene status. So like you've got your idea, draft, edited, finalized. You might add some for like eras of your life, but let's go into plan, and then grid. I might be like, okay, well, label, this is an idea. Maybe I've already written this scene. It's a draft. I've finalized this scene. You know, you can do this. And then also in the matrix, sort by your labels. And in this case, status as a label, because it's in a group, you can have that. So this differs from, say if we had a label of Bob and we go into the plan. Hiya, baby. Oh, we've got a guest star. Hi. Were you coming to make sure that looking on my face. Thank you for the kisses. So we have here status, but then we might have labels, and you can see that we also have the Bob label, whereas we don't have him in our other bits. So, yeah. Dylan says this is a great way to build character backgrounds for fiction as well, with you, the author, taking on the role of a character. Yeah. And I think, like, if you've got a point of view, I like to have the point of view characters' opinions on every codex entry so that you can, like, filter everything through. I think it really helps if you're writing in first person or limited third person. It's a really good helper. Fuzzy says, Papa, always a welcome guest. Oh, yes. Papa is the best guest. So now we have 2 Dylans on the stream. Okay, so yeah, I think that's about where we're up to. Is there anything that you guys have questions about before I head off? I think I've covered everything that I was going to in the stream about memoirs. If you've got any more questions, you feel free to ask. But yeah, I'll share this prompt on the Discord, I guess. If anyone wants it. I guess even if you're not writing a memoir, you might find that it's cool just as a interrogation for yourself. Oh, hello. Were you bored of Dada? Yeah, so I'll give you a few moments if you've got any questions while I just drink my tea and stroke my dog. I'm not entirely sure what we'll be doing next week for our stream. It might be a model release if any models are released. On next Saturday, it's November 1st, but I'm going to do some kind of like Halloween spooky-ish kind of thing. Maybe with a guest that isn't my little pupper. We'll see how that all goes, but yeah, I think that'll be a fun stream. So join us for that. We'll be looking at a different genre. And yeah, I will see you all. Thank you everyone for turning up. Dylan has a question for the codex. If you have a character with an alias of Drew who drew something, can the AI distinguish Drew from the name Drew the action? So yeah, AI can, if you put a sentence of Drew drew this, yeah, AI should be able to tell the difference. I believe there's an experimental feature that allows capitalization of codex entries. It's in the works. It's like a but ideally we'll get something like, because people have like the name May and different things. So AI can distinguish it, but the entry of Drew as the character will still get pulled in. If that makes sense. What are you eating? Ugh, it's just a tub. But yeah, I will see you all later while I go and fetch things out of my dog's mouth. Yay. Bye, everyone.